ones. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's me, RDV. I got Zach down below us. Then we got our special guest, Mr. Eric Breen, the back issue king himself of both meetings.
Hi, kids.
Hello to the one person watching us, other than us on our phones.
Oh, that's not me. I'm not on my phone.
It is a weird time for us. I admit it's because Zach wanted to eat cake again.
No, I went to go see the Batman. I took my wife and we went with my sister and my sister-in-law. My wife hadn't seen Batman yet. My sister's seen it 5 times now, I think. So I had to show her the greatness that was the
And
Batman.
you wanted to see it on a Thursday night when we stream.
I didn't choose the time.
Oh, obviously.
And I thought the movie started at 6:30, but there was like a half hour of trailers and stuff, so it didn't really start till 7. So
yeah, I figured as much. 7,
Yeah.
yeah.
But everyone loves it, so
That's good.
Yeah.
No.
So
was it so crowded?
Oh no, not at all. It was a smaller auditorium, and I think there was maybe only maybe 2 other groups there, and it was like 4 and 3 people, so not very crowded. Not a lot of people on their phone. So
yeah, we got a theater here that it's like from the 1940s.
Oh, nice.
One. So I go to that, and it only fits so many people in there, but it's like all the same level seating as you go up.
Oh no, see, I don't like that. The same level stuff. I don't.
Well, it slightly goes up. It's slanted, but it's not like crazy.
Who'd you go with tonight?
My wife, her sister, and my sister.
Did you feel like you were in a harem manga?
No, no, because I'm related to all of them.
The people at large don't know that.
You know. I gotta say though,
did blood start flying out of your nose? And
if you weren't wearing the ring, people would think you're the gay guy in the group.
Look, it's our gay bestie, Zach.
Oh, hey, Dragon Majesty's here. I haven't seen Dragon in forever.
What's up, Dragon Majesty? All right,
I'm taking the spotlight off of me and shining on somebody else.
I think we after 2 minutes, this is what we're gonna get for an audience tonight.
Hey, in my defense, I did bring up shooting this at 5 because I thought top 5 at 5.
5 o'clock.
I don't know.
Central Time. I don't think anybody's out of work yet.
I don't know. I mean, shoot, it was just an idea.
Hey, Undead.
See there you look.
Well, it was a bad one. No more ideas out of you, mister.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you could have just stayed home since you've already seen the movie and let them watch it by themselves.
No way.
Yeah.
I wanted to see the Batman. What are you talking about? It's a great movie.
Yes, he cares about you guys at home.
It could have been ladies' night, and the feeling's right.
That's why he was there. It's ladies' nights.
Oh yes, it's ladies' night.
What a fright!
Let's go back to the other jokes that I don't like.
That's a good way. That's a good way to get us to stop.
What genre of jokes do I not like the most?
All right, so
no, it's okay.
This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start. I guess we'll start showing off books right away since we're wasting time here.
Don't waste. Isn't that like half the stream? Is us wasting time?
Always.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Unless Mr. Breen, do you want to go first, son?
No. Yeah, age before beauty and all that.
All right.
Where's the beauty?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll have to change that.
I mean,
I'm just saying
you're better looking than me, but that's a low bar.
It's like that much difference.
If you saw the stack of books he showed me offline, we'd be aging before we find any more beauty at all.
Yeah, I did a back issue shopping today, Zach.
Oh, nice. I thought about doing some back issue shopping.
The only beauties on this stream are the comic books, unfortunately.
I got some beauties. I don't think I had a bad one in the bunch this week, actually.
So, for those who are not familiar with this, I personally go from least favorite to favorite for the week. And I got a nice thick stack of books here for you guys.
Wow. That is
sadly, it's not even a tenth of what Breen's got.
Did you hit the 50-cent box or the dollar box?
No, these are all new issues.
Oh, I was talking about Breen.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
No, he hit the library of comic books. All right, so I'm gonna go starting off with my least favorite, and not when I say least favorite, I'm not saying it's a horrible book. It's just that there's just so many books to choose from this week.
Yeah.
I had problems, trying to find which ones I like more. And shocking as this may be, She-Hulk is at the bottom of the pile tonight.
What the what? Wow. I mean, I get it though. I think I know. I think
it
I
just
can get
felt
it.
like I was reading a romance novel. There was hardly any action in it.
That's true.
Yeah, so it didn't. It just felt not normal to me.
That's true. As I was reading it, and I even did like a short Twitter review earlier today. I think I can agree with your.
And it's interesting to see. I've never read the original Avengers issue when Jack Hart supposedly died.
Oh, Disassembled, the Bendis book.
Yeah. I never read that. So
my first Avengers book.
I do like the fact that they're doing callbacks, and they're actually showing what talking about the issue and whatever it is, where title and stuff. So you at least go back and read it if you want to. So I'll give them perks for that. But it's so it's all about Jack, this whole entire book. And I just felt like Jen just got a side character in her own book. So that's why it's at the bottom of the pile.
That's fair. I disagree with some of that, but I think it's fair.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Going into this series, I think all three of us had some trepidation because it's Rainbow Royale, who's more like a YA and YA properties. Are you feeling like that after 3 issues she's starting to lapse back into that, or do you think it's just an issue that other people may be okay with, just didn't strike the right chord with you?
It didn't strike the right chord with me. It just, like I said, it just felt like you're just sitting around eating.
It was very, and I'll elaborate more when it gets to my turn. I just found it to be kind of like a filler. It's not. There's not anything urgent. Nothing that seems to tie into any overall story.
It's free Verania.
Yeah, there is a Hellcat cameo they put in there
with Tony
in the background. Yeah. I liked a lot of it. 'Cause, I mean, it is kind of just that day in the life of kind of stuff. There's some fun stuff in there that I really liked.
I'm okay with that as long as that doesn't become the norm.
That's my thing. I'm afraid of. So
yeah, I think this was just. I think because a lot of modern readers, and shoot, even me, I don't know that much about Jack of Hearts, so I feel like this does lay down a little bit of groundwork, or maybe it's a refresher, or it's a Jack of Hearts 101 type deal.
Yes, here's Jack of Hearts 101 for you.
Okay.
There's a miniseries that was published in the mid 80s where we learned who he actually was, and if I remember correctly, he's from another planet, and a character who would become a regular in Spectacular Spider-Man. A girl named Marcy Kane, who was always busting Peter's chops, and then they eventually became friends. And she ended up becoming involved with him, and she may have been from another world also. Maranya could probably elaborate on that, because I think that's one of her favorite miniseries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I've heard her say that.
And he goes back to, a Hulk issue in the early 200s was his first appearance.
Okay.
So he's been around for well over 40 years.
Okay.
So Bendis probably wrote him as poorly as he wrote everybody else. I mean, even if the ideas were good,
Andy, that's right. Andy came back. That was kind of cool. I did like that.
Yeah. So there's still some humor in this.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that she's actually the correct shade of green.
Yeah. I like the lawyer calls. That was actually some fun panels where she's doing the conversation with Ben. That made me chuckle.
If nothing else, you've got to be impressed with one of the things we bitch about more than anything about modern comics is the writer just writes whatever the blank they want.
Yes,
she's done her research.
Yeah,
she's pulling things from 80s Avengers, Slots Run, the whole thing. I mean, if nothing else, I've been very impressed with that.
Yeah, definitely. Credit where it's due, for sure.
So, like I said, even though it's at the bottom of the pile of things that I like, it's still a good book. It's just that as I said, it felt like a filler. And now I hope it goes up from that. It's not a bad filler. It's just a filler. It's average.
Yeah.
All right.
I got
you. I had to throw this in somewhere because it came out this week. I've already read it. If those who know who, I usually like to rate these Buckingham because it's more. I read it as it's meant to be binge read. The way they write everything's chapters. these individual issues are so short. Literally, what you see on the cover, that's the whole entire issue. He finds out that the guy is a spy, and he goes and runs around with the RV, and he kills him, and then leaves him for the dead, and goes back to the prison, tells him, "Hey, we got to arm up because the governor is coming. He knows where we are now."
Mhm.
That's the entire issue. So, but I still like the art here though, and then I love you get the alternate covers. So,
Abraham.
it's weird to reading this book though in color though. That's the thing; it really throws me off.
That is, yeah, because I had the first compendium, like the big omnibus, and it was all black and
So
white.
here's cover, here's widespread.
It's a mirror.
It's like, it's an average size book though, But I'm just saying, it's just like, if I would have pissed if this came out, if I would have read it the first time back then and find out like, really, that's it, nothing happened.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a filler.
It is a filler. It's a filler. That's what I'm saying. It's a filler.
Not only is it a filler, but it's a filler you already read in black
Yeah.
and white.
All right. Now, all right. The next book is a book. It's a good first issue. It's by Ron Mars. And it has Andy Lanning doing the art on this.
Yeah.
Basically, you have the flag from the original Project Superpowers. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like, was the flag ever like part of the Archie stuff? Is it just a character?
I think Archie was the Shield.
Yeah, the Archie characters are still licensed to somebody, so they can't use any of those.
But this is the character here. We see him in the beginning. He's fighting against somebody, and pretty much he gets like murder off screen. But then we're like subjected to a guy waking up in the future, naked, underground,
Terminator style.
It is. And it's like I said, it's intriguing what's going on in here. I don't want to give away too much, but like he realizes there's Black Terror is not the Black Terror he knows in the future. There's multiple Black Terrors. It's an organization. Florida has been turned into like swampland, and there's giant alligators.
Oh, okay, that kind of got my attention there.
Yes,
that's cool.
He almost gets killed by one of them. Here,
show me the giant. Oh, that's cool. I like giant monsters.
Too many awesome. Butt shots. I don't need to see butt shots, but
yeah, that's so a little too much. Not that kind of cake.
I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it did leave me wanting to read more of it.
Nice. That's always a good sign.
It's a slower pace. It's a slower paced book, so I'm hoping it's not boring. It's not a filler either, but I'm hoping it picks up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go on my next one. Issue 4, Scorched.
Nice.
Now these are I didn't like it as much because to me it felt like a chore to read it because I understand what's going on, but it just felt like I was getting way too much information. Too much.
Yeah, like kind of an exposition dump.
Yeah, but I do like the characters. I do love that cover.
That's a really cool. Yeah, that's a cool cover.
Yeah.
I think that's the cover A, huh?
I think it's the normal cover, but yeah, like you said, and it's basically, well, if you love Spawns, every single one's in there, and they're bickering.
There's a ton of Spawns in there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But like I said, it's a lot of information here. If you're not familiar with these books, you got to read the one before it because you're going into it blindly. You're not gonna know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They're not one-shot stories.
No, because look there's no even beginning stuff tell you what's going on in the previous issue.
Oh wow! Yeah, I didn't even notice that. There is.
Yeah. And this is the cover. Yeah, the cover and the back for the next issue.
I like that.
Yeah, the art's great. It's
it's
just too much information. Yeah, and this is all cover. Yeah, and yeah, it is Todd McFarlane doing the writing, but I thought someone else is helping with them too as well. Oh no, sorry, no, actually no, it's not Todd McFarlane. It's Sean Lewis. With Steven Segovia doing the art on it.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna go into my next issue here. Shadow War Part 2 from the Batman. The art is horrible, but the writing is solid.
Who does the art?
It's Porter.
Howard Porter?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know, but it's a lot of the arts.
Doesn't look that bad.
It's good when it says Batman. When you get to the end, though, when they show,
I think Jorge Jimenez might have been, but like normally I think of modern Batman. I think of Jorge Jimenez, or it might be Phil Jimenez. One did Batman, one did Justice League.
Not really a fan of the art. Yeah. It's
That looks pretty good to me.
It looks good, but I'm saying my only niche is that the art is not as good as you would get with Dan Moore or Jorge Jimenez. That's all. I look it up, see who their actual artists.
Here, I'll pull it up. Hang on. What's that? Is it just
not
Batman?
credited in the book?
Maybe
Yeah, they should have it on the front
What
page
is
or
this?
something.
1966.
It just says Porter under Williamson under it, so it doesn't say if it's actually.
Well, sure, the credit should be on the inside too. I would think.
Yeah, I'm looking to see.
Who's gonna find it first? It's Batman 122, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who's not going to find it first. Me, because I'm not looking.
Howard Porter is the artist. Also, Trevor Harrison. So you got two artists. I guess maybe one did the inks and colors, and one did the.
Maybe there it is. Yeah, it says Howard Porter is the main artist, and then has. Yeah, there's two different stories that's happened.
Howard Porter did the art on a lot of the Grant Morrison Justice League.
Okay.
And he was a Flash artist.
So.
Yeah, Prometheus is new too.
I remember
Once
that guy.
upon a time, he was a highly respected artist.
But I gotta say in here though, basically, if you've ever been following along with this, well, the main spoiler of this is in the first issue. You're led to believe that Slade was framed. He didn't kill Ra's at school, so Talia, in response, sent like all these other the whole League of Assassins after to kill Slade and his army. And Batman just comes in there. It's funny because he shows up where Talia is after this, and he's like, really, all these ninjas versus him, and he just takes them out one by one, and he walks away.
Can I ask a cynical but serious question?
Yeah.
First, Undead Quinn's asking if anybody's reading Alice Ever After. I don't know what that is. Do either of you?
Sounds like a Xenoscope.
No, I've never heard it.
Well, I guess that's 3 no's. What is it, Undead? But my question is, how many in an average month? How many books is Slade Wilson in every month?
Deathstroke Incorporated,
which was led up to Shadow War, and he's crossing over into this. Yeah, so he's basically become the new Joker.
It seems like he's become the default villain for everything now.
Yeah.
I haven't really. I mean, other than this and Deathstroke Incorporated, I haven't seen him in too much.
I'm not reading a lot of the DC stuff, so maybe he might be appearing in other stuff.
Not that I know. He's not in Superman. He's not in Flash.
But
he's not in Suicide Squad.
I will say this though. I do love
pops up in a lot of bat stories, and there's so many Batman.
Well, yeah, they are trying to make him more of a Batman villain, which is
so.
Really
this is cool. We're seeing the detective mode where he's recreating it with the hologram.
Yeah.
And I love how the girl the detective, she's like, it's like, her name's Director Chase. That's supposed to be the DEO or whatever. I think that's what's supposed to be. The blonde.
Cameron Chase, I think her name is.
Yeah. And she's pretty much, she's grossed out. She's like, can you stop playing that back? And even though he's a criminal, I don't like people being shot in the head multiple times.
She worked for a skeleton.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's right. She worked for Mr. Bones. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But like I said, yeah. So that's still a good book, but I wish the art would be a little cleaner in some areas. But it's Batman being Batman, him being badass, and not being second fiddle to anybody, which is kind of cool.
Quick tribute. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody?
One day I expect to see him in the chat be like, y'all stole my move.
Right. But you're not using it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Moon Knight is the next one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know why my screen froze for a second and then it just popped up. That was a good one. I enjoyed this issue. Did you read it, right?
I read it. It was the last one I read.
You got caught up?
I caught up. I had to read 3 issues to get caught up before we went live here.
That was a good one. I like that one.
I gotta say, I like the issue, previous issue before this better.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because he's now Moon Knight's based in the Midnight Mansion where he's living at the place. He's the House of Shadows.
Yeah, that was a cool issue too. So now his new base that and he's got a killer and like I said, and then he's slowly going against Zodiac and he finds out. I don't want to spoil anything, but he finds out somebody is not who they say they are. Mm-hmm.
So ends up being confronting them.
Yeah.
The art in this is pretty solid though. I mean, I do like it. Oh, look, we even get a Steve Orlando's doing a book.
Oh, yay! Oh yeah, that's right. They're doing all the 2099. They're going back to 2099.
Yay.
All right.
Ooh. Fun stuff.
But I like this.
Yeah,
That is cool.
this was probably my
Now,
favorite issue.
My
of
question
the
is, I
Case
never
Moon Knight.
in the series before this, whenever they showed him like Moon Knight, was he always glowing and a white glow around him? Was it only this series? Because
This is the only series of Moon Knight that I've read aside from like the old
because
ones,
you
back
see him,
issues.
you'll see him whenever he's in the Moon Knight, the garb, the cape, or
Mhm.
he's just in the regular suit.
Yeah.
He's always got the luminescence glowing from him.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really cool.
I
So,
dig it. Yeah.
Like here, you see right here.
I don't recall. There's a few times, yeah, but like there was a run of Marvel team up
Yeah.
that it had like mainly with Spider-Man. There was Moon Knight and Daredevil and a handful of other team ups in there too. I think it took place after M Day,
Right.
and Moon Knight would be in that, but he didn't glow, not like what you're seeing in there.
Yeah. So, all right, my next book, Black Widow. Final issue. Where is it? And the reason why this is a little higher, but also not at the very top of the list, is because, well, the ending was rushed. And I'm not blaming it on Kelly Thompson. I blame it on Marvel. I think they told her, like, you know what, you need to end this. We're going to cancel the book.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. At the end, all of a sudden you get this abrupt ending. It's like a Miracle Tamaki. Like, oh, there's food left over, guys. Let's sit here and make and eat. I was like, what? After they defeat the bad guy, and then they sit at the end and are like, oh, we're going to eat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Definitely, I think it could have been ended better.
Did Misty Knight and Colleen Wing come over and go tee-hee a lot in the last scene?
You see them eating?
No, Misty or Colleen. They have Hawkeye, Bucky, Yelena, and Julia Carpenter.
Yelena.
Tomato.
Is Hawkeye the real effeminate looking one on the end of the table?
The other thing here, my nitpick is like, you know, and there's because she's going against this guy from apparently they created. I don't think
the Living Blade.
The Living Blade. I'm not sure if he's from before or he's new, but apparently she went against him like back in the 80s when she had her the gray screw jacket when she was with the Avengers, and now we have at the last issue she lost her arm. He cut her arm off. So this other mutant that he's looking for comes and kills her and attaches her arm to her. And like the funny thing is like Clint's like basically he still cares for her, so he's simping for her. But then at the end, if Winter Soldier finds like, oh, you almost died. It's like, oh, it's like they're both like just simping for her. That's another thing I didn't like. It's like they're both in love with her, but she doesn't love them. That was crap.
Well, I'm sure this Black Widow don't need no man.
She's got two of them. They're both. She's like.
Yeah, but
she had one too at the beginning.
I promise you, she'd rather be with Carol Danvers than either one.
But I do.
No, she had the husband that she had the baby boy with. That's in the very.
There is what's really cool.
She's got a kid now.
At the end here, she does give props to Adam Hughes doing the awesome covers.
Yeah, Adam Hughes does do some. He did some really good covers.
Do they have play dates with Spider Woman's kid?
No, this is so at the very first issue. She gets brainwashed by, is it Arcade?
And then she has all her former villains. They're basically wanting to ruin her life, so they're basically going to build her life, make her a happy life, and then tear it away from her.
Yeah, they brainwash her, and so she meets this guy. They get married. They have a kid. She has this whole other life
that she doesn't know.
She doesn't remember being Black Widow.
It was all artificial. They were never married. Except that they cloned her, and then coded in this other guy needed to create a child.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have a question.
And then she'll never see the child again.
Yeah. Stevie.
When did Arcade become more than just a guy that runs a murder world?
He was just facilitating the stuff, doing the
He was a contractor.
I'm being sarcastic. He's the only villain half of these Marvel writers have ever heard of.
All right. Next issue. This is actually, and then for those who don't know, this originally was a trade came out in 2017. They're just re-serializing it. They're putting it actually into individual form. Every issue. And I gotta say, even though it's Ryan Blake doing the writing, I really, really, really enjoy it.
Did he draw that Deadpool too? Did he do
Yeah,
the cover?
yeah.
I can tell by the foot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what though?
That is a cool cover though. I do like that cover.
It fits because I always gave him props because Deadpool has always been kind of crazy, been kind of comedic stuff. So I don't think he has to look serious all the time.
No. I like it. I just he has, of course, Rob Liefeld has his whole reputation with drawing feet.
Yeah.
Or not drawing feet in some cases.
I now know where this comes from. I've always seen the image, but I never knew. Yeah, he's going against who he got. I guess he calls this character he calls Thumper, who's chasing him in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Big dude. And what's cool about this? You got just the whole art in this. I'm actually been enjoying this. Like here's ignore the old man Obi-Wan, but
Hey.
that's the
Obi-Wan
villain's going against him, and like and Wade the whole time he's got Wade's voices are talking, and he's like, "Who are you ready for?" And he's like, "Shh." He's like, the comedy is pretty well. I've read Bad Deadpools, and I thought this actually stood out for being better than some of the recent ones.
Right on.
So, and like I said, he's constantly dying, and they said something like he's Domino is next to him when he wakes up, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It just basically lays into it. He's like, shit, I can't lie to her anymore because she knows. And it basically, he's been going after this this got wind of this organization, or that's basically got this bomb, world-ending bomb. He's trying to find it, the device, and she's like, "How long have you been doing this? Since X-Force, pretty much, when they're on the island." Yeah, with Cable and the new X-Mutants.
Oh yeah. And, okay.
A Star. Yeah.
Shatterstar. Yeah.
So the comedy was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'd rather have Liefeld doing it than just about anybody else at this point.
That's the thing. When I read Liefeld stuff, I enjoy it. When I don't, it's not Liefeld. It's not really that good.
Well,
but Liefeld's also hit and miss too.
Well, yeah, Liefeld, had very little to do with the fleshing out of the character.
Yeah,
because he left. I mean, he went to form Image, and then Deadpool, became almost an entirely different character. And the people that think Kamala Khan's the greatest character created in the 21st century are always quick to point that out. But then they're the same people that say believe Jerry Conway, who wrote about an issue and a half of the Punisher in his life. So
and I like it. They're having a conversation. His back's pretty much broken. And at the end, he's like, "Okay, we're done talking now. Can you help me up? Seriously, I can't get up." It's kind of like the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool humor I'm seeing. Kind of throw it in here a little bit.
Yeah, Miranya's saying I didn't like Liefeld back in the day on Spider-Man. He seems to have refined his art and looks a lot better these days. Not only that, is he will never be confused with a great comic. I mean, he might be the luckiest guy that ever lived to create the characters and what they turned into.
Mm-hmm.
But
which one's the Marvel book?
What you can't take away from him is he loves comics. He loves he
loves business,
and he likes people that actually like comics, and that's something I give him credit for, and Todd McFarlane credit for.
I was going to say he's the other one.
Even if neither one of them does anything that I particularly care for, I'm 100% behind both of them. And I keep going, flood the market with your stuff.
Yeah, totally.
All right, now we're getting to my top 4. At number 4.
Knew it. I knew it was going to be in there.
Yeah, of course. You should know where. I gotta say, for what it was, I liked it. It was a fast-paced book. I read through it pretty fast, and I had to reread it again. And it's I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I want you to read it yourself. But I'll just give you this right here. Look at that!
Hey, look at that armor. That is a sweet. I like his little line right there too.
Yeah,
with Doc Ock.
He's like, yeah. As smart as you are, a genius is, but you never figured to put armor on your body. It's like get knocked out easily. And I gotta say, that's Chichetto drawing Iron Man there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's what's cool about this. I mean, Chichetto's art that's on their book is just amazing.
Yeah, it's dynamite.
No matter what he does, like you see right here when this is Elektra confronting
Oh
The
yeah, the car crash.
car crash and everything. She's just like, screw you. So it's a very good book. Recommend it. I'm actually looking forward to reading the next chapter of this. Daredevil
Yeah.
issue 1.
Yeah, the new #1.
And they solved the mic problem, which I loved about that. No more mic. But it's gonna create problems because, well, actually no, it's gonna tie into is the next, if you've been following what's going on with the Hand. Now you're gonna have he's basically joining the Fist group.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have another crossover eventually. All right, my number 3 book.
Oh, okay.
This
I'm
was solid
curious.
all the way through. I actually really enjoyed it.
Really? Okay. I was
Yeah.
wondering about that because I know
Yeah.
we talked about the writers the other day.
The writers are actually it's, let me read on here. I think
It's Colin and Janzane.
Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing.
Lansing.
Which I believe are the guys who wrote the Captain America Iron Man over at Marvel.
They're doing the Captain America Iron Man right now.
Yeah.
I think they did an Aquaman book too recently.
But this takes place after it's been a few months after Wayne has passed on. So his company has been taken over by a criminal, and he's just and also Terry's world's crumbling. He lost Bruce. Barbara is retiring. She no longer wants to be police commissioner anymore. Pretty much, and he's just trying to make it through and just do everything. And I love how even the guy's right. It's like, even though Bruce is dead, I can still hear his words in my head. Tell me to stick to the basics till they're and keep doing it until they're the moves until they're actually instincts. They're not just you're just practicing anymore. So I love how it just goes through here and just everything. And the art is just great in this too. The villain, or there's a new guy. He's not a villain, but he's kind of like a swordsman that Terry gets confronts here. Let me show you a picture of it. But it's not that he has jet boots too, and he has a long freaking energy sword. Like what I like about this is that these guys said we're gonna have new villains in here. They're not gonna be guys from their pasts. These are just villains that are popping up or being created, which I respect more than just having someone being like, oh, like Ghostmaker, who's I've been here the whole entire time. You just never knew, but Bruce knew. But the art's out on here too. And I'm also a mark when it comes to Batman Beyond stuff. So really, really enjoying this. Recommend you pick it up. All right, and then my number 2. My last 2 were kind of cheesy. I'll give you that. That's a bad pun. This is a one-shot. This is basically Belle going into what she believes is going to be Tartarus. She's going. Yep. She climbs up, and she basically goes in there, and she ends up in limbo, and she's forced to work with a girl named Jill, who's in the cover, to defeat her dad named Jack, the Giant Killer. Remember, this is all kind of Fable stuff. Who's teamed up with the new ruler of Limbo. And the whole thing is she's trying to basically rescue her mother. She feels guilty because she killed her mother, who was actually at the time corrupt. So she's trying to rescue her mother's soul, maybe bring her back to life. And she learns a valuable lesson. Both of these women do it in here. But
cleavage sells?
Cleavage sells. No.
Oh, I thought that was maybe the valuable lesson.
That's the back part.
More outrage.
All the way through was this fun book. It's a fast, and there's humor in this, fighting, love. Good-looking women. Can't go wrong with it. There's no Carl Manvers in this at all. But I said, I just love the art in this. No, it's not over the top, but it's also not like, it's the point where it's like, oh, I'm just cringing.
And what comic fans could possibly be better than Belle? We're about to find out. In a world where cheesecake makes his world go.
That's the new preview for the new one.
Cake
Jack
is great.
Minute.
Jack and Jill. Wow, they're.
Wait a minute. What's a guy doing on the cover of a Zenoscope book?
Not
have you not noticed
I thought they would they would do.
You don't pay attention, do you? They've had some quarterlies, had some guys on there, but my number one book. My number one book, because this book just made me outright laugh and it was just complete fun. Is Dynamite Never Dies, issue 2.
I like that cover.
Yeah. evil Vampirella. And guess what? She has her hair back. She's not bald anymore.
Yeah, I didn't get that. That whole thing was not working for me.
What's really great about this is that Tarzan joined the issue before this. So Tarzan is thrust into this whole entire world. And he has to go to Barsoom. By accident, he gets thrown there by accident. And I just love the whole interaction with everybody. He's like, where the fuck have I gone to? And like, it's Tarzan being thrown into the by John Carter, be hunted by the monsters, and then he's saved by John Carter's son. So it's kind of cool seeing this. But I just love everything, all this. Go read the first issue. You haven't read this? It's just like, and they're in the jungle and they're being attacked by this giant dinosaur. He's like, and he gets swallowed by the dinosaur. And he comes out, he kills the heart and jumps out, cuts it out. Tarzan does. And he's like, huh, funny. Usually when I tear the heart out, they just keel over and die. What the hell monster is this? And then then one of his pals, the saber-toothed tiger, gets he was feeding on the blood and transforms to one of the Deadites, and there's a scene in there where he actually talks to the monkey, does like the base, eye stuff. And he says like, go spread word. Do not feed on these corpses. They're diseased. But like I said, it's just a fun book all the way through. Yeah. Here's a scene here too. He's like, basically the son of John Carter could not fire the energy weapon because he's afraid he's going to kill his dad, who's already a Deadite anyway. So Charlie's like, move over, boy. Tarzan grabs the gun and just says like, lays waste all over him. Because he said, it's either you're killed or be killed. That's the way of the jungle. It's the way of here to do. Oh, it's just funny. And there's like even dinosaurs in space too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The space zombies too, which are form of draconians. And then you got the guy who's from the future, from the Project Superheroes. Oh,
okay.
He's in here and he's like, dude, you guys wonder, you can't kill me. He's like, well, just take me to your leader then. So it's a very fun book. It's very punny. And there's a lot of action going on. You're getting all these you got Panthera, you got Tarzan, you got Vampirella, Red Sonja, Evil Ernie's little button. He's basically making jokes about, because when he sees Panthera, she goes back where she's got thong. He's like, I can never get tired of looking at this. He's making the pervy comments. It's like they know they're readers, so they make the comments for you. But I said, like, yeah, here she's killing the zombie dinosaurs.
Nice.
So definitely a fun book. And then this is the book this is the cover I was going to get last week, but they didn't have it in, so I finally got this cover.
Oh, nice. That's a second printing, or is that a first printing?
First printing.
Nice. Very cool.
All right.
I still dig that cover.
Yeah, it is.
That's fantastic.
Not a fan of this though. It's like a higher graphic.
Yeah. But I don't know if I like that. Is that going to be the cover A?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know.
Not a fan of that one. I'll have to see what the variants look like.
I don't know, but yeah, that's my books for this week.
Right on.
For those
how many was that? Like 9 or 10?
11, I think.
11. Okay. Wow. Yeah, you had a good week.
12.
12. Nice.
So yeah, for those right now, and for those who are watching, those who are going to be watching later on the stream, let me know if you disagreed with my choices in the order. All right. I guess we'll go with Zach because I think he only has like 5.
No, I have more than 5. I've got more than 5. I've got going through them here. I've got 7. No, I've got 8.
Okay.
I picked up a few extra ones. Yeah, no, I'll just kind of go through them. The lower ones, I didn't really rate them. I think there were a lot. There's a clear number 1, but there wasn't a lemon in the bunch. It was actually a really good week for comics for me. I did get Black Widow. I'll just kind of I won't spend too long on the one that Vinkman already talked about. Good issue. I mean, this has been a solid run. Like you said though, just the sudden rushed ending because she found out that this was going to be the last issue for now. ... Question mark. She says they have more story to tell. Just I guess we don't know when it's coming. But the art is still good. I love how in these books, first of all, the Adam Hughes covers are fantastic. But in like most of the issues, the most
Yeah.
memorable pages are the ones where it's like the motion, where you can see like she's doing all the fight moves, and it's like the Black Widow. It looks like a bunch of them, but it's her doing one fluid motion. So I've really enjoyed those. Yeah, the covers are just fantastic. I like the different way they put in the title and the numbers and the credits in a lot of them. I also got Scorch #4. I got the variant cover, the old
The
school
X-Men
X-Men.
covers.
Yeah,
I
love
almost
this
got
one.
that one, but I was like, I like the original cover.
I love this cover. This is 90s. Come on, this is 90s in a
90s cheese.
nutshell. Kind of like what you said. I don't think it felt like a chore to read, but it definitely would help if they had like a previously on Scorched, because I actually had to go back and thumb through Scorched.
I had to read the issue 3 before I read issue 4. Maybe that's why I didn't like it as much.
I had to refresh myself to remember what happened.
Yeah.
I did like this one a lot, though. It sets up like some future stuff, some tension in the teammates. So I kind of like that. Let me see what else I got here. I want to save the stuff that you didn't already talk about for last. Did get She-Hulk #3.
That's okay. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
No, yeah. I like this issue probably a little bit more than Vickman did. Like I said, it is very filler. It's a lot of, there's some exposition stuff. There is some comedy. There is some fun stuff. I like the scene. She's trying to drum up some lawyer business, and she ends up getting a call from Ben Grimm, and that whole panel, it just made me laugh. It was pretty funny. The stuff with Jack of Hearts was also cool to read, and just like Breen was saying, she's done her homework. Talking about things from Avengers Disassembled or the Dan Slott run, even beyond that, or not beyond that. I guess it would be. It would be during the Jeff Johns Avengers run, I think, when Jack of Hearts sucked all the gamma radiation out of She-Hulk. I think it was during the Johns run.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun issue. Like it doesn't really further the story. Like we're no closer to finding out why Jack of Hearts is back or anything like that. But still fun, and I still love the art. I think the art is really fun.
And minor spoiler, he is kind of like losing his powers in this. He's becoming kind of human.
Yes,
so
there is that.
It makes you wonder, because remember, he broke out of a test tube, as far as we know. We're led to believe.
Yes,
is this really him or a clone?
Well, I've got a note on that too, because I caught you, Marvel, in one of your way too often continuity errors. But I'll get to that in a minute. Devil's Reign #6, fantastic. At first, I was skimming through this the other night, and I thought I knew how it was going to end, because because I think I told you about it.
Yeah, you're like, it's not the way it's going to end.
And then I actually went back and read through. I was like, oh, I was wrong. Oh, wow, this is actually really. I was impressed with how it ended.
Somebody was trying to say like, they turned him into basically Lex Luthor. I was
yeah. It almost like it reminded me of, what was it, Punisher season 2, where there's like the people that put others in positions of political power. There's some of that at play at the end.
But it wasn't Fist, though. Fist didn't care about that at all.
No, Fist did not know. That's why I said it went in a completely. Yeah. I was expecting it to go left, and it went right. Like it
tied up though, because there's 2 characters that were these rich brother and sister that basically been trying to manipulate Fist throughout the whole entire series of Daredevil. Finally, it got a conclusion to that. I was like, finally.
But yeah, really good issue. I was kind of skeptical about how this was going to end, because issue 5 felt kind of frantic, and it felt almost a little rushed. Like I had to reread it a couple of times just to make sure I was getting everything. But this ties everything up really neatly. Stuff with Elektra, stuff with Matt. Just really, it ties everything up really nicely. Luke Cage even. Yeah, Luke Cage. I saw what the spoiler cover was. They had the variant that was the spoiler, so I know what that is now. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next, because there is that ending, kind of that epilogue you kind of touched on, where Elektra and Matt go off to start the Fist or join the Fist, and it seems like it's going to take Daredevil from a street level hero to a global level hero. I'm kind of iffy on that. I think Daredevil works better.
My only confusion: where does the Iron Fist they started in #1 in the series? Where does that fall in line with this, or is that separate?
I have no idea. I read #1. I don't think it falls in line with this.
No.
Danny Rand gets captured by the Thunderbolts at some point in this story. But I don't even think in the Iron Fist miniseries that's
I
happened.
hope they like he just says screw you to everything else that's going to Marvel and just does what Kate does, has his own little world.
That would be, yeah. He wasn't even in this.
No, it wasn't. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All this
So
talk about the Fist, she's trying to recruit him for the Fists, and
that
they
would
don't
be
mention
cool.
and like
I
they
would.
don't mention Danny at all.
Well, maybe they'll save that for the new #1.
Maybe maybe he's there. He's like, welcome to my parlor, bros.
This is what I want to call Marvel's best Batman issue. Because to me, that's what this felt like. This felt like reading a Batman issue. It's very detective-y. It had that plot twist at the end. I really dug. It was a grimmer Batman too, especially when you know what I'm talking about. He does what he does at the end. It is leading up to him confronting the Zodiac. But yeah, this
To
is
be fair
fantastic.
though, it's what Mark Moon Knight's always been. He's always been the guy.
Yes.
It's like he's very cut and dry. He's like
Very to the point. No, definitely. But I love it. He does use the Midnight Manor or Midnight Mansion in this. It does play a part of the story, which I really like.
what you saw in I think was the cover for issue 8 show them like it was an alternate cover. It shows them running through like mazes up to the infinite corridor, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that, and that comes back to play on this too when he's fighting the guy.
Yeah. No, I really love this. The cover is also really cool. I was kind of like, as I was reading through, I was like, okay, I don't really get half the cover. I get the other half, but
I got a quick back issue or question that pertains to this, and this is kind of like knowledge. Breen, how does House of Shadows compare to House of Mystery? Is it like their Marvel's answer to it?
What is House of Shadows?
It basically, from what they're saying, it was basically Doctor Strange went to get this like little cabin area, and basically people would go in as a trap, and they'd never be able to leave. It was a haunted house or something like that. So I was wondering, is House of Shadows a thing that's from the past that's brought back?
Not that I recall, unless they did that in the Doctor Strange story that I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
No, the House of Shadows. I just looked it up. It's on Marvel Fandom. It was just a house. First appearance was in Strange Tales 120. It's just an old cottage that I guess recently it's converted itself into an apartment complex.
As far as House of Mystery, that was the original concept. It was an old science fiction series, and then it became, a horror series. And there was House of Mystery and House of Secrets, and Cain and Abel were the horror hosts. And I think in a series, he lived in a particular house, and then in a subsequent series, I think in the early 2000s, they actually made the house an actual character where people came that, they basically came to exist there eternally.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, in this story, they had Doctor Strange banished the House of Shadows, and then reappeared in his apartment building as the 6th floor, even though it was only a 5-floor building. So people were I want to say Deadpool because he has kind of similar humor. Moon Knight was looking into it, and he walks in there. And he's like, but then he's like, wow, it's in infinite corridors. He's like, there's food and water, or there's water and there's air, but there's no food. It's trying to make me weak, so it can feed on me. And that's my weakness. And he's like, but then it tries to go to my psyche, and then it hurts it because he's just too crazy. It can't feed on his psyche, his energy, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, this one really good. I'm looking forward to seeing him when he gets to confront the Zodiac. All right, 3 books you have not already seen tonight. Fantastic Four, number 42. Terrible Person ends up still being a pretty good writer. So there's several plot threads that get touched on in this. You have Reed, Ben, She-Hulk, and Jack of Hearts are in outer space on one planet, and Ben. So if you haven't been reading the slot run, Ben and Alicia have gotten married. That happened very early in the run. They've adopted 2 kids. So Ben has so far been kind of hesitant about fighting because he's also gotten this prophecy that he's going to die fighting someone. So Reed in this issue decides, scientific Reed, not, hey, let me be a decent guy. He's using his big brain. He's like, hey, I'm going to lie to Ben Tell him his family's dead, and that way he won't think he has anything to fight for, or that way he'll think that he has nothing to lose, rather. And so Ben, when Reed tells Ben that his family's dead or his family's gone, they've been sacrificed to help save the world. Ben, just like fights Reed. That's half the book is him fighting Reed.
And I gotta agree with Morani what you saying. Let's get you off for a second, but I just want to comment on this. Morani is right. I agree with you. That is a cover, and
Yes.
it's supposed to draw you in.
Yeah, and it actually relates to what's going on in the book. Crazy.
Now, you had mentioned earlier that something about continuity. Is this where you bring that up?
So yes, so this is where I bring up continuity. Here's why.
What's that?
One of the side beats, side stories in this is She-Hulk and Jack of Hearts. They go off to chase this alien, part of the Reckoning, this group of aliens that have Watcher weapons. And at this point, Jack of Hearts seems to be at full strength. He's actually emanating so much radiation, he's actually burning off parts of his costume. That's in this. In She-Hulk number 3, like Vinkman touched on earlier, it's like he's losing his powers. He can barely fly. He can't really do anything. So one book, he doesn't have any powers or they're fading. And in this book, he's at full strength.
Yeah.
Now, if Shooter were still there, he would get those powers back at least long enough to go on this adventure and then deal with it back in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
We'll see. I mean, look, and again, and I'll give credit where it's due, Slot. I mean, now, to be fair, he did write the stuff that he's going back and touching on. But there's parts of his She-Hulk run that actually tie into this. Yeah, there's this story where she acts as like a cosmic lawyer or the living tribunal. And, that ties into this story. There's like an alien race that the Watchers could not watch because back in the She-Hulk run, like they didn't want to be watched. They thought it was an invasion of privacy. So She-Hulk actually convinced them to turn it into, what was it? Minor Obscura or Obscura Minor. So she feels guilty. Like this whole part of the cosmos got wiped out because she convinced the Watchers not to look there anymore. So that's going on with She-Hulk. And then the Badoon are going after, they got into the Baxter building. So Franklin and Valeria and them had to blow up the transporter gate.
Who were the Badoon again? I know the Skrulls.
Badoon, they're the aliens from Guardians of the Galaxy. The original Guardians of the Galaxy fought the Badoon. So yeah, I know. I was like,
first appearance of a Badoon, I believe, was Silver Surfer number 2.
Oh, okay. I remember them. I just remember them being like the main aliens that the Guardians.
They were.
Against. Yeah.
And when the Guardians first made their reappearance in the Defenders in issues like 24 through 28, where that's where they introduced Starhawk.
Okay.
The Defenders are. It started in 2 and 1 with the Thing and the Guardians, and then they brought the Defenders in. They went to the 31st century, and Captain America was involved in and out of the story, and the Badoon was who had taken control of the Earth in the 31st century.
I'm just like,
gotcha, right.
There's just too many alien races for me.
I dig it. I've somebody asked me once, is like, who has the better cosmic corner? Is it Marvel or DC? I like Marvel's cosmic stuff a little bit more than DC. I like all the different alien races and the cultures and everything. I'm very into Star Wars, so it doesn't faze me that much. But then you also got Johnny Storm. He's kind of going from planet to planet, helping these different worlds fight against the Reckoning. So he's gone to, I believe he ends up going to the Kree Skrull world where Billy and Ted are. Our favorite 2 young Avengers, the one who's like the king of the Skrulls now. So Johnny Storm goes to them, helps them fight off whatever aliens they were up against. It wasn't the Badoon. And then there was like a little cameo. You do get to see Guardians of the Galaxy, which I kind of liked because they were my favorite Marvel team for a while. So yeah, overall good book. Next issue is gonna have Doctor Doom in it, so kind of excited about that.
How about the Badoon versus the Brood? Not Gangrel, Edge, and Christian. And the winner goes over to DC and takes on the Kund.
Sure, I'd read that. That's the Marvel versus DC crossover that I didn't know I needed.
I know.
So
just put all the alien cosmic entities against each other from Marvel DC. Leave all the street heroes out.
this one, Mr. Breen, you asked about in the Twitter group.
Oh, that is a sweet looking cover.
Rocketeer from IDW. Wasn't really planning on getting this when I first heard it was announced, but then I saw the writer, and I believe he's the artist as well, Stephen Mooney.
Oh, we got one too here.
Yeah, this is a really good book. I wasn't planning on picking it up. Then I saw it at my LCS, and I saw Stephen Mooney's name on it.
Hey, come on. Hey, we're trying to get women to watch the stream. Put Zach back on full screen. There you go.
Hide my face.
Or I'm gonna do
the Wilson from Home Improvement.
Just thinking, guys, it's exciting that Zach's excited about a book that's called The Great Race.
And it's about Nazis. Is that what you're trying to get at?
I didn't say anything about it. Is it about Nazis?
Not me, my young friend, and I am offended on your behalf that this plebe below me would. I can't even with you.
Well, to his credit and yours, y'all didn't make any jokes about Black Terror and Project Superpowers about 30 minutes ago. So
yeah, that's only because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, okay. No, this is fantastic. So Stephen Mooney, he has a series that I read a little while back called Half Past Danger. It's a very
I love that.
Yeah, it's a great series. I found his Twitter. I think he's planning on doing another volume.
Yep.
Really enjoy it. Very pulpy, fun.
Yeah.
Really dig it. And
he's got a good handle on pulp.
Yeah. And so that makes this all the more enjoyable. I really dug this. It's very much a setup issue, not a whole lot. It's a lot of exposition. This is where the Rocketeer is at. He's dating Betty Page. There are Nazis.
Hired by Howard Hughes.
Yeah. Hired by Howard Hughes.
Green, since yours is in the bag, you want to show off some of the interior art?
Yeah, sure, show off some of that good stuff.
I'll show off the page Venkman wants another look at.
Yeah, that's the one I would go to.
That he needs to buy this book.
Yes.
Yeah, his art is really good too. I really like his art.
Yeah, it's holy Dave Stevens.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I love his expression though when he sees her. He's like, "Holy crap!"
That's my girlfriend.
There's some really good. I mean, this art is really good.
Look at that car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I love period pieces too, and so this is just incredible to me. But
look at those headlights. Well, but the car shone from behind.
Even Breen reads new books. Yeah, every now and then. Yeah, but this is great. There's the Great Race. There's an air race that's supposed to be happening. It's a air race going from California to New York to England to Paris. And Howard Hughes, or the Howard Hughes stand-in, hires our Rocketeer to fly it. And I think the grand prize is like $10,000.
Now here's the big
question.
Here's the big question I've been waiting to ask. Does he have the gum on the tank?
I didn't see it. I wasn't looking for it though.
Breen knows what I'm talking about though.
Oh no, from the movie, right?
Chewing gum.
Yeah. I saw the movie. Actually, I'm ashamed to say I only saw the movie fairly recently.
Did you know the character actress Margot Martindale was in the Rocketeer movie?
No.
She was a waitress in the diner and looked as old then as she does now.
Look, here's another one. This nice panel spread.
Woo.
Yeah, that's I don't know how much more convincing you need to up that total to 13, Vank, but
I know. Look at him. He's balancing on that airplane there. Look at that action shot. Look at that. The plane. Yeah, no.
The plane.
That Harlan. Look at that. Look at that. Their whole entire bag's exposed. Cover up.
Yeah, put some clothes on, trollop.
Put a sweater on.
Yeah. And actually, like one scene, I was like, "Holy cow! This just got really, really violent." Like this Nazi guy comes up behind a guy, knocks him out, and then sets his plane on fire.
Do you see her butt? It actually has a crack in it. See that? Look at that
dress. Yeah.
Look at that. They actually drew.
Yeah.
But that look good. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. God bless Stephen.
Look, if you're buying the Rocketeer, you're not.
I love this outfit.
If you're doing this comic, you don't give two shits about what SJW Twitter thinks because they're never going to notice it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the people that I saw talking about this on Twitter, they're not the guys.
Well, now they will because they follow our channel.
Oh, do they?
I'm just kidding. Nobody follows this channel.
Nobody follows this channel.
This was a happy surprise. This is what I call a happy accident book because I was not expecting to find it. and I found it. I was looking for
Phrasing there.
Nottingham. I was looking for Nottingham, the book that I talked about on
Yeah,
the preview stream. My LCS didn't have any. I didn't put it on the pull list, so they didn't know to order any. So I found this one instead, and boy, I was glad
Well,
that happened.
I have to thank Jerry because he was at the shop yesterday, and I said, "What are you getting?"
Hmm.
And he said, "I'm getting this new Rocketeer book." And I said, "I didn't even know there was one because I pay so little attention."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
that's how you can tell I work in a comic book store. I have no idea what comes out every Wednesday.
and IDW, I typically don't pay a ton of attention to. Their GI Joe books come out, I might grab one, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to IDW.
You know what
So
I call
this I will
IDW?
though.
It stands for I don't want to sell comics. So that's the last place I would look to
Right.
find something like that. I mean, Dynamite. I would have figured, but
I think IDW also published his Half Past Danger series, if I'm not
they
mistaken.
did. But they really got social justicey,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's the
maybe
one Heather Antos works for now. Isn't it? Doesn't she
is
work
that
for
where she is
IDW?
right now?
Is she at IDW or Valiant? I knew
Valiant.
she was at Valiant. Oh, she is
No,
at
I
Valiant.
think
Okay.
Where she moved IDW.
I thought she moved to IDW.
yeah, I can't remember. But
Either way, though, IDW is supposed to be rumored to be losing Transformers and
Yep,
GI Joe.
GI Joe.
Well, maybe
Skybound gets them.
And
said
because
maybe they-
Ghostbusters was never announced officially that they lost the rights to the right to continue their comic book series,
Mhm.
there are rumors that they're going to be bringing it back.
Oh,
That was in January, but I'm like,
don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I want Skybound to get them. I want Robert Kirkman to write GI Joe.
no, I said Ghostbusters, not GI
Oh,
Joe.
I don't care about Ghostbusters. That's your thing. No.
You know what? Now you're gone from the stream. You're gone.
No, I haven't done my number one.
You never will.
I never. Yeah, y'all just have to guess.
that's a-
Actually,
that's a
Binkman
great
probably
cliffhanger.
already. Binkman probably already knows what
Well,
it is.
I'm sure it's hot.
Oh, it's hot. It's hot. I was actually telling there's a new guy at my
Well,
LCS.
before we get to that,
Yeah, okay.
let it simmer a little bit for people.
Sure. We can go to Breen's back issues actually.
I want to.
No.
No. Here's a go. Has there ever been a Phantom Rocketeer crossover?
Not to my knowledge.
But they are still writing Phantom issues every month or every week or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Who has the rights to Phantom these days?
That's a good question.
Was it American Myths and Mythology?
I
Like
don't
that? I have to look it up. Zach, you're our go-to boy. You can look it up.
I took your job over as the go-to
right.
boy. Didn't I?
Well, all right. Let's go down to your top book this week. The best book you think is no.
Oh, now you want me to do it? I thought I was looking up the Phantom. Okay.
Well, I don't care.
Okay. No, that's okay. I'll find it later.
What a demanding boss he is.
I know. And when did he become my boss? I thought we were co-partners. Wow.
Wait. I'm not a partner with you. That's
we went from being like Nightwing and Red Hood to Batman and Robin. Yeah. Okay. This is my number one book. I've been waiting for this for 6 months. And Skip, if you're watching, you know what it is.
There's a joke in there somewhere about being married.
Well, that kind of deflates. No, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this way. Firepower, number 19. I got the Kim Jong-gi cover, the variant. The guy at my LCS was actually complaining because the price box is really, really tiny. He had to like squint to try to find it on the cover. It's like itty bitty bitty. But yeah, I had to get this cover. It's going to be part of a larger connecting cover picture. Oh boy, the interior though, the inside, it's so good. It's so good. Skip, my boy, he look, he just popped up as soon as I mentioned it, and we got the same cover. That's right, Skip. I knew twin.
Why isn't Skip in here?
I don't know. I got on here as soon as I got home.
I figured he didn't have any books this week.
Well, he got this one,
or maybe he decided to go ahead and get that root canal after all.
This is fantastic. So, I mean, if you equated this to like a television show, this just picks up like a brand new story arc. The giant dragon that the heroes have been trying to keep from awakening. It's up now. It's awake now. The whole family, you kind of see them in action. They're fighting snake ninjas. They're, the daughter's shooting fireballs. The son does fireballs now. I'm not going to get too into spoilery stuff. I mean, I guess that might be the biggest one that I give away, but yeah, it's just I'm very interested in seeing where it's going. They have a new character that they brought up. They kind of touched on a little bit. He's kind of a cooler samurai-looking character. I think he's in Hong Kong or some city where the dragon is heading to and causing destruction. There's actually this really great panel or 2-page spread where the dragon is just causing all this chaos. I opened right up on it. You see, it's just wreaking all this havoc and all this debris. Chris Samney, of course, doing the art, and he just does all these different people on their phones or watching the news as it's happening. And that just really, really stuck with me. I really like that a lot. Chris Samney is becoming one of my favorite comic book artists. Just really, really awesome stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going. And also, this is the only book where I actually read. They do the little, like, the Q&A stuff in the back, like the readers, like the submitted questions, and then they do like this the RC Coda forum where it's Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney just talking back and forth about what they're doing with the book. Really fun reading. If you get a chance to read the back, make sure you do. There's a lot of really cool stuff, little tidbits and things in there.
And real quick, the same thing with the Rocketeer. If you pick that up, there's like 5 pages of text in the back of that kind of tell the story of a lot of background information. It's
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I skimmed through the Rocketeer one. I was kind of going in a list. I was saving this one for last. So as I was getting through more, I was like, okay, I gotta hurry up so I can get to Firepower. But yeah, fantastic. If you haven't been reading it, I highly urge you to jump on this. I told this guy at my LCS, he's a new employee. He hasn't read this. And so I was trying to sell it to him. I was like, dude, think of like the Incredibles mixed with Iron Fist. And that's pretty much what you get. It's just such a fun read. As I said, this is one of the few books that when a new issue comes out, like, I get excited. Like, I don't necessarily get excited for, well, maybe for Moon Knight, but like Fantastic Four, it's kind of, a normal thing. Or, Devil's Reign, okay, yeah, sure. Firepower comes out though, like, I'm ready. I'll be knocking at the doors before the LCS opens to get it. So really love that. So that's my number 1 pick this week.
All right. Touching back on the Phantom. Apparently, it's released through Hermes Press, which does a lot of reprints. It looks like, I'm not sure if those are new issues they're putting out. They might be just all reprints because they've been doing that since the 2000s.
I see. Oh yeah, Hermes Press. You're right.
Of the original. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot since. And it says in 2009, Hermes Press entered an agreement with Dan Curtis Productions to reprint Gold Key comics of Dark Shadows, and then they'd do into large-scale reprints, followed close by agreement with the King Features Syndicate to reprint the Phantom, 2009. So I'm not sure those are now. Again, these could be new issues, or there's all reprints. I've never seen them in a shop before though. They have their own website and they have their own Twitter. You can check them out. Hermes Press, HERMES Press. All right. With that being said, we just passed a little bit past the hour mark. Now we're getting into our back issue hour.
Yes.
I'm still awake.
There's a Spider-Man yes for you, Breen.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we're past the witching hour now.
I did start looking for some back issues, but then I was like, you know what? I got 8 books. I got a good chunk to go through, so I passed on the back issues this week.
Yeah, I was waiting for all week for the Red Sox Yankee game at 1 to start the season, but it got rained out. So I said, I'll go see. I'll go pick up some back issues. So I did. Start off with a couple here for Zach. Here's Power Man Iron Fist.
Nice. Who's that on the cover? Who's that supposed to be? It looks like Columbo.
Is that Billy Joel?
Gordy.
Oh.
And here's issue 115. Now, do you notice anything similar about these two covers? Like maybe who's not on either one of them?
Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, big surprise that it was gone within a year after that.
Womp, womp.
No, seriously, I said, yeah, you don't put the characters on the cover in 2 issues in a row.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Yeah. So anyway, so there, this other store in the area has a huge dollar section, and I guess they're getting ready to dump some more in because they cut the price in half. So, it was 50-cent sale, and first I'll do the ones that didn't cost 50 cents. But
You mean they had a huge selection?
no, they still do. That's
Breen pulled up with the truck and just like, load it
so
up.
these weren't, but I'm trying to
Nice.
pick up the crisis in
Oh.
order. So here's number 2,
Dawn Star.
number 3,
That's cool.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
and number 4.
Oh, Death of the Monitor.
Um,
They only last for 20 years, right? And they expire.
here's when here's the Hulk teaming up with the Avengers during the Hulk with Bruce Banner's brain run from the early 80s.
Didn't even see
Nice.
She-Hulk in the back there in seconds.
She-Hulk with the blue and Captain Marvel.
The issue
Mark on
before
Rainbow.
is the first Hulk She-Hulk team up with Bruce Banner's brain.
Oh, wait, look where his crotch is. There's Hawkeye.
Oh my gosh.
What an insult to the character.
This is issue 283. 282 is worth $80 now.
Dang.
Yeah. And that shop had it for 40 and I was tempted. And here's Avengers 250.
I have that one. I love that cover. That's a really sweet cover.
It's got Star Fox in there too, right?
Yeah, it's got the West Coast and the regular Avengers on there.
So the rest of these were 50 cents. There's the first issue of the 12-issue Vision.
That's cool. That's a classic cover.
Nice.
Lovers and Zombies.
I picked up about 20. I won't show them all. Issues of Nexus.
Oh, nice.
You can show all the Nexus here. We're a Mike Barron friendly channel.
This is where they run into Badger.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
And here's number 8.
Versus this Manta Ray.
Um,
And it's got flashbacks that Aquaman issue. The man.
Oh, hey, I might have that one.
Hey,
Dr. Light. Before
from
he
the
was
Perez run.
Before he was creepy.
Dr. Light Richards, right?
Here's issue 8.
Moving heads.
There's the issue where Tara joins the team.
Nice.
I mean, I have all those stories and trades, but I figured, why not?
Oh yeah.
Let's see, where did I stash the others? Here.
They're beyond the toilet paper.
Always complaining about books not having, supporting casts. Quasar, late 80s, early 90s series. Mark Grunwald writing, and this was Greg Capullo's first monthly gig.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he didn't do issue 12, but he did a bunch of them in the 20s and 30s.
What year is those?
These are 1990.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, he's up there in age too.
A couple of random issues of Grimjack. Here's 24.
Cool.
And 25. Zach, the reason I'm not showing them all is, like I said, this is the rest of the stack.
Good night. Yeah, you had a busy day.
You know what? We got an hour to go, so we can just fill it up with just books.
You might. I don't.
Well, going through, do you have a favorite out of all your books?
Not really. Here's a West Coast Avengers with
Ooh. A Tale of Two Kitties. I like that.
The
only one's been perfect at least all their time.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Bruno either.
Oh yeah, that one.
Here's number 9.
Nice.
So these are the two I need. I collected Doom Patrol before Morris, and I didn't really care for his run. And the Nick Fury series, also from the late 80s, early 90s.
Nice.
Jack Geist took over the art for about 8 or 9 issues, and I'm trying to find those, and these were the last 2 that I needed there.
Cool.
Oh, very cool.
Here's
like
a
that.
Shadow Annual.
Nice.
Um,
With Orlando in there.
yeah, that's I was gonna say earlier. Whenever I see Orlando on the cover, I get excited for a second. Then I remember that Joe Orlando worked for EC and DC, and he's been dead for decades.
Yeah.
And it's Steve Orlando, and then I weep.
Yep.
This is Joe Orlando, so it's safe.
That's a good one.
The beat up Secrets of Haunted House.
Cool.
Ooh.
Very science fiction-y.
Some more New Teen Titans, number 11. Number 11. Number 33.
Oh yeah, that's a cool cover.
32.
Nice.
31.
Nice. I like that one too.
29.
Speedy,
Yeah.
no.
Speedy.
One of my favorite covers from this series, number 13.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
that is a neat one.
creepy.
What's the Robot Man?
Another Grimjack. Let's see, West Coast Avengers, number 11.
The Silver Centurion armor.
Is it Tarzan? Let's see, Grimjack 19. 21.
Huh.
22.
Ooh,
Outrage.
outrageous.
Oh no, who's that tart? 23. No, I said
That's creepy looking.
anybody that knows me knows that I'm always championing First Comics.
Mm-hmm.
They were so, to quote Jimmy, they're so good. Here's a couple more Quasars, 22 and 23. I'm pretty sure that Capullo did the art in both of those. And there's the obligatory Ghost Rider guest spot.
Oh yeah, that's how you know it's a '90s book, right?
With his hover bike.
Pretty much.
He took
Yeah.
Hawkeye's bike.
I might as well run through some more Nexus here. 24. Going in reverse order.
There's never not a reason to show off Nexus.
23. Yeah, I have hardcover Dark Horse Archives of the first 4 volumes in Nexus, so I've had
That gun.
the first 24, but I found all of them from 3 of the 4 for 50 cents a piece in perfect condition. So there's no way I was gonna pass on those. And
I
as I said, this series is so freaky. So is Grimjack. Like I said, First Comics was so good in the 80s.
Yeah.
None of those comics or issues run up there actually. If they any creases or fringes on the spines. The
Oh no,
Yeah,
these
yeah,
are,
those look crisp.
they're stone mint.
It's like they were just never touched. They're put in one spot. Jeez.
This is actually one of in Jerry's probably top 3 favorite series of all time. And the more I'm reading it, I'm coming to the conclusion that I used to. Yeah, he was Nexus. Badger was always my favorite, and our other friend's favorite was Grimjack. But I think I'm kind of coming around to his way of thinking on Nexus.
Yeah,
I love them all still.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Yeah.
12, 11.
There's a lot of little aliens and monkeys on there.
Oh, it's
The running gag.
no, it's just different worlds, and
Yeah.
and like I said, and Mike Barron wasn't right in the head then. He's not now. He's the perfect kind of crazy when it comes to writing comics, and that's he's. I said, Bangman is a fan of his Flash.
Yep.
I think you would like Nexus. You definitely, if you get a chance, if you run across any when you're out comic shopping, pick a few up and read them. I mean, they're
Are they one shots or are they continuing stories?
No, it's a continuing story.
Okay.
You don't have to read them all.
Well, no, I've come across them. It's just that they're always looking the higher up numbers. So I mean, I want to start from the beginning so I have the full picture.
Yeah. It was originally on with a company called Capital, and they went out of business and first bought the rights to Badger, Nexus, and Whisper. And Pacific Comics was another company that went out of business. That's where Star Slayer and Grimjack came from.
Also,
And-
indie they were just kind of brought into one universe.
Yeah, and well, and in first case, they literally, because there was this area called the Crossroads, and in the Crossroads was a place called Munden's Bar. And at any given time, Nexus, who's from the 26th century, and
Stop at a bar.
Badger
Yeah.
or Sable or Grimjack could just find their way there. And it's
They'd have cameos in the background.
you have what?
Where they have like they're talking in the bar and you see a camera, see one of them in the background talking to somebody else, and then that's it.
Well, I don't. I
Or
don't.
did they interact?
No. There was a series. There was a 5-issue prestige miniseries called Crossroads,
Okay.
and each one had 2 characters that would ordinarily not cross over. And Munden's Bar, if I remember correctly, was the where they would meet.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I know that's where the characters could pop in and out of. I can't remember if that was the impetus for Crossroads, but I do remember that each one, like one would have like Whisper and Sable, one would be Grimjack and hell.
That's like I said, I do like crossover stories when you see characters. Like I said, it's one of the reasons I'm enjoying that Dynamite thing. There's all these characters you never would normally see in a series interacting for the first time sometimes, and it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Jennifer Blood meeting Ash Williams.
Yeah,
Never-
Dynamite, they did another like a mini series. It was a bunch of Edgar Rice Burroughs characters, so Tarzan, John Carter, a bunch of other ones. It was like this big crossover where they all got combined into one story. Not Dynamite. Dynamite Lives, like what you're talking about. This was back in the early 2000s, I want to say. But yeah, I like crossovers too. That's one of the reasons. I'm trying to think of the other one. Like anytime with DC when they would do like Justice League and Justice Society, like team ups, those are fun. But
There was
or Avengers, the Avengers Justice League that just got the reprint is a really fun crossover. If you have a chance to get it, I recommend it.
Saw something here. It's supposed to be like a preview for like a crossover or a new story. Is Jeff Johns on Flashpoint?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I saw. Okay, that's what I saw. Jeff Johns. Yeah.
That's what they've been putting in the back of their DC books recently.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't like what he did to the Flash, but I like most of the other stuff he's done in books. But hopefully Flashpoint turns to be better than it is.
Well, I wasn't too thrilled with the first Flashpoint since that's what led to the new 52.
Yeah, but they released this week. They had an issue called Flashpoint Zero or something, or Flashpoint Beyond or Zero. And it is
that was just a reprint, though.
Reprint of Thomas's first appearance in the issue.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the new number 1. But Jeff Johns, I gotta give it a shot. I like Jeff Johns. He hasn't done anything necessarily terrible in my opinion. I even like his Avengers run, and that tends to not get a lot of love.
The only gripe I have against Jeff Johns is that he brought back Barry.
I know. You don't like.
That's the only part I don't like because I was like perfectly happy.
I will address that as soon as you make us all equal again. Thank you.
All nerds are created equal.
He brought back Barry Allen, but he didn't because the character really hasn't been the same since then.
Well, he brought back a shell of a character.
Because I said it's. I don't know. I said it's. Iris was killed in the original series.
Yep.
But then at the end of the series, found out that she was actually not dead, but she was back in the future.
That was Silver Age, right? Wasn't
it? Well, Copper by then, because this was mid '80s. So
did she die twice or once? Because I remember getting the thing in her head.
That was, that was I think issue 275 of the original series.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they pulled it off to where she was still alive in the future, but he went off to live happily ever after in the future. And then he sacrificed himself to save everybody in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But since they brought him back, he's younger. The marriage isn't there anymore, and I think they're just a couple, and it's not the same. Like I said, Barry comes off more like like a watered down version of Wally. He's like Wally without the personality.
The last I checked, though, in the Joshua Williamson run, they were a couple. They just weren't married.
Right.
Yeah, and then because Barry's off world somewhere, basically the whole aren't they looking trying to find Barry?
Right now, you mean? Currently? Yeah, so what I remember is Barry is with the Justice League Incarnate, which is the multiverse Justice League, and I think he is missing currently. He was with them, and now I think they're looking for him. But he's not on. He's not. I mean, he's not in the main Flash book. That's a Wally.
No. Neither's Iris.
I know you read a bunch of Williamson's books. Does Iris know he's the Flash?
Yes.
Okay, well, at least they did that right.
And they love each other. Yes.
Yeah.
And
the thing that I thought about,
she actually killed. She actually in the because he went to the future. She was taken by Thawne to the future, and then she killed Thawne with a gun.
Oh.
It's like in that run, I was like, wow.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed about after they brought Barry back, I mean, he just seemed to be very focused on
work.
Work or his mom. Like the whole point of Flashpoint was getting his mom back, and it was just okay, I don't remember him ever being this stuck on in the older issues. He wasn't stuck on his mom or his failures this much. So
no, whoever it was that said Barry was a much better martyr.
I think it was E.
I think it was E. Yeah, so he was right.
Yeah,
because that's I have no problem with bringing Hal back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Hal had Barry had the perfect send off.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't top saving everything by sacrificing yourself.
Yeah.
Hal, on the other hand, went.
He went bananas.
And then we found out he had help, but
I don't know what's wrong to do. I'm trying to do what he always does. He has in the background, but apparently he has to hide us.
Even before that, he had a great redemption arc in Final Night.
Mm-hmm.
Then he became the Spectre, and then he went through a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so him coming back, I was far more okay with because Hal Jordan's part of a Green Lantern Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Flash should not have been, although it seems like there's as many Flashes as there are Green Lanterns, which isn't the fault of Barry, but it just kind of gets swept in with that. And but I think they'd have been better off if they'd never brought him back. But
probably. I mean, I didn't even know, when I got into DC, Wally West was my first Flash, just watching through the Justice League cartoon, and I just assumed that, luckily when I started reading Justice League, and Wally was the Flash at the time, so I didn't have, which one's Barry, which one's Wally. I didn't have all that confusion there. But then when I did start getting into Barry and what he did and everything, I agree. I think he had, like you said, a perfect send off. I don't think that you really needed to resurrect him. If you wanted to go back, if you really wanted to revisit the character, you could do what Marvel is doing with a bunch of their 90s books, where they're kind of going back with Ben Reilly or Venom, and they're doing new stories set in that time period. You could have done that with Barry.
They did.
There
was a Brave and the Bold series called Fast Friends. It was Green Lantern and the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was they gave both of those characters far more personality posthumously than they'd had when they were around. And it got people kind of feeling nostalgic and missing them and wanting them back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jeff Johns, arguably the best overall superhero comic book writer of the 21st century. That's the reason why I specify superhero, is so I can omit Ed Brubaker, who is the best writer, period.
There we go.
I can respect that.
And he had the best superhero run also.
Yeah,
That
his
said-
Captain America. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
That said, if he's got one flaw, it's he's got too much of a reverence for the Silver Age.
Yep.
For all the wrong reasons. Silver Age was great in its time, but being part of undoing all of Burns' and legacy on Superman and bringing the Flash back, to me, kind of diminishes a little bit the other stuff that he's done, because I said I've never, other than Tomasi and Jurgens a couple of years before Bendis came all over him, Superman hadn't been good since, I would argue, 2001, 2002, maybe, because they were already starting to chip away at it by then. But by 2005, it was completely gone.
Superman, as I'm reading right now, I'm getting into the Triangle era, where it's one long giant story. It's just fantastic. I can't compare it to other stuff as far as Avengers, but I didn't really read Avengers, but I know people really love that. I'm just saying Superman from post-crisis all the way through, except to what he said 2002. I'm reading right now. I'm in the early 90s, and I'm just like, it's getting better into the 90s. I was like, holy crap. It's like, how's that possible?
It's Superman during that era. I would say from, Man of Steel, the real one.
Yeah.
Through the Triangle era.
There only is one.
For about 10 solid years is as good a sustained run on a character as you'll find in this industry. Yeah,
The only thing is weird though. Remember they had for all these years they had Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, where Jimmy Olsen's like, oh, they're best friends in the post-crisis DC, because Jimmy gets sick from a disease and gets a weird stretching ability and stuff. Like for all these issues, he just hates Superman. He hates him. He gives away his little wristwatch. He says, like, I'm not going to use it ever again. I don't trust this guy. This guy's a jerk. To be fair, though, he does have somewhat of a right to be mad at him because, well, at this time, the Rocketeer was changing Clark's personality, and Superman's personality too as well. So we're getting more of the super dickery.
Well, in the Silver Age, and this was part of the fun of the Silver Age, was Jimmy with the signal watch, and when he became Elastic Lad and all that stuff. The Byrne, Wolfman, and Stern kind of paid homage to that in different ways, kind of winking at it, but not treating it with disdain, but finding ways to bring them in as kind of like a nod to the Silver Age. But that was it. That's where they left it. Yeah, they were never that stuff was better left to the Silver Age. I mean, they brought back, was it Titanio, the giant ape or whatever.
Bibble?
And they found a way to do it, which actually had a heartbreaking ending. But it was but that was the only time it was ever used, because that's what I said. There was so much weird, silly stuff in the Silver Age,
right?
That needed to stay there.
All I remember reading the Silver Age book, and it must have been Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, or whatever it's called, title. And I remember Supergirl and Lois competing for Superman's love.
Wasn't Supergirl?
I can't remember. I'm like, isn't she supposed to be his cousin?
No, there's an issue where the Diana Rigg Wonder Woman and Lois are fighting over him. But yeah, it's like I said, but yeah, that's some absolutely phenomenal stuff that you're getting into now.
No, but like I said, I do love Roger Stern. He had a love for the character. A lot of them, Jan Jurgens on there too, and I love the fact there was continuity in this too, which really made it awesome, because it was annoying is that going back and reading these. I got 3 issues right now. I'm reading. I gotta go. You start with one, you go to the next one, and you go back over, repeat the process. It's a pain in the butt. And the trades and I was collecting the Man of Steel trades, and the Man of Steel trades have a little bit of the story, and then it's like 2 random issues that have nothing to do with the story. you know, because they're only the John Byrne ones. So it's just like, if you want the full story, it's like you're almost forced to just go out and buy all the issues itself. Or if you want to, there's an omnibus by Jerry Ordway, and that's the Eradicator one. It's like $90 hardcover, which I'm tempted to get because that's a fun read. It's like basically 4 trades and put into one.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Zach, have you read any of that stuff?
No, I haven't. I haven't read any Superman really. I've got some Superman Rebirths, Tomasi ones, but I haven't even cracked into those yet. Was never really big into just Superman when I first got into comics. I would read him in Justice League. At the time, it was the Dwayne McDuffie or Brad Meltzer, and then I think it went to Dwayne McDuffie, the one that Ed Benes was drawing. Well, and
you started after the Superman Venkman and I are, gushing over was gone.
Okay.
Because by 2006, Clark was back to wearing the blue suit and sniveling all the time, and adjusting his glass. He was right. He was right back to the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Yeah,
and as I've said more times than E's given us the origin of Comicsgate, Lois Lane would not have fallen for that Clark Kent.
No.
So if they were going to do that, they needed to undo their marriage and have her be Superman's girlfriend again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said there's but they didn't have it's like Zach, the other Zach, you say commit to the bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love there's even a part in the Crisis where it's like where Lois almost found out a secret, but Superman says I was raised by the Kents alongside Clark Kent, and she didn't put it together that they're both the same person.
Yeah.
So there was somehow I was reading this what? That's a real thing. I'm at the point where it's Doomsday hasn't showed up yet though, but I'm getting there. I mean, Doomsday I think is with the 93, 94.
That's the one where I started reading. That was my first introduction
2006.
to anything with Superman. Was this one? I found this.
That's the one we read on this. That's the one you guys read on this channel.
Yeah, that's the one y'all read. Yeah, I was sad that I missed that because, like I said, this is my first DC comic that I ever read.
What you need to do is find that Man of Steel trade, and maybe the volume after that, because it has the 6-issue miniseries and then the earliest from the post-crisis. And I said this first 5 years of post-crisis, DC was close to perfect.
Okay.
Read Superman. It's titled Superman, and I think it starts at 424.
Adventures starts at 424.
Oh, sorry. Superman, and then there's which is the John Byrne does that. Then there's Avengers 424. You start with that, work your way up, and then you're also reading Action Comics as well.
It started at 584.
Yeah.
Which was more or less a glorified DC Comics Presents under the banner of Action Comics, because there was a super powered guest star in every issue. And
my only complaint though is the Milton Fine thing, Brainiac version of Brainiac. Brainiac's conscience comes in and goes after this circus telepathic or psychic guy and takes over his body. So then he has bald, but he has this long ponytail. He looks like was that Thrasher from Marvel? The guy, the sword fighting guy. He has the long blonde hair.
I can't remember.
That's not Whiplash? No.
Or maybe it's Whiplash I'm thinking of.
I know Whiplash has the ponytail.
It's a long ponytail. It's a long ponytail in the middle of the head, and the rest of the head bald.
That's
not Whiplash.
This is happening right around the same time as the Bwahaha Justice League begins.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's, like I said, it incredible stuff, and comics will never approach that again. Everything about comics has changed too much for that to ever happen again, unfortunately. But if you haven't read them, hell, there's years of continuity to go through. That I mean, it's well worth it. I mean, if you're in this hobby for the long run, it's definitely something to go back and look into.
The introduction of post-crisis, you'll get Warworld during the Exile Crisis, Exiled thing where basically Clark flies off because he feels like he's just becoming a burden to the country or the world. So he leaves Earth. He ends up on Warworld. It goes against Mongol for the first time, and then it's where he gets Rocketeer, comes back. The Rocketeer starts changing his personality. He's got to deal with Matrix Superman or Supergirl, who's basically changed into his, looking like him and tried to pose him. That's where you get that awesome cover on Action Comics where he looks like a gray suit Superman with a so basically it looks like Batman, but he's got the glowing red eyes in the shadow. It's really awesome.
Real quick, Morano was telling MK that Longbow Hunters is the best Green Arrow book, and that is correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you like that, MK, if you get that and like that, the Mike Grell series that started right after that is basically an extension of that continuity. And the early issues, like I said, the first 40 or 50 issues of Green Arrow are in that same tone and tenor, and you'll enjoy those a lot too.
Yeah. What was the other thing I was going to say? Other villains in there. Oh yeah, I'm reading the current one of the, I think it was actually a Superman. One of the titles. So this had his name's Obsidian. Is that the one that's son of Alan Scott?
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and Jade. Well, Jade was actually, she was working for this guy. This guy's like, I need you to donate your money to save the future and all blah blah. Her job behind the scenes is just sitting there holding her ring and creating a hologram of this guy's feeling what's going to look like, and so. And then they end up being terrorized at this place while Clark and Lois are there by these like cowboys, and like and I forgot what he's called, but it's just like it was just nuts. So it's like because I was wondering how they gonna fit these two characters in the story. Where's this going? Because it looked so weird. It looked like like Looker, the stages and all stuff because they're an old Wild West stage, and then because she was doing this stuff, like her brother was like, really, this is what we come down to? We're getting paid just to use your powers just for money? And she's like, shut up, I'm trying to concentrate, you idiots. But there's still humor in this. And like Clark still has to do the thing because he's at this point now, he's now dating Lois. Because she had a thing for Superman, but she realized that she actually liked Clark more now.
Yeah, and that was some of the Clark and MK. Unfortunately, Mike Grell did not do the interiors.
Yeah,
he wrote it, but Ed Hannigan was the artist, I believe. It still looks good, though. I said it's well worth it. Yeah, I remember exactly. Clark wanted to make sure that Lois, loved him, because the other thing, Zach, what made this version so good was Superman was someone that Clark played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Superman was who Clark Kent was when he wasn't Clark Kent.
Right.
Up to that point, Clark Kent was a character that Superman played. And Byrne flipped that and made his Earth upbringing far more important than his Kryptonian heritage.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that Jeff Johns undid.
So here's a question, though.
I do like I do like that. Like I like him having more of the Clark
we
Kent
always
in
do the best of the comic books, the best of the week on Thursdays. But Zach, would you be up for doing what kind of? We've done this before with Jimmy. I want to do
like an educating Jimmy type deal.
Educating Zach on the Superman run from Post Crisis.
Sure.
We're not gonna do like a whole run, but like we can do an issue here or there. I know, Brain. I don't. You're limited on time and stuff. It'd only be like an hour, or.
Well, yeah. If Zach wants to, do you have access to, are you on any of those services?
That's a good question.
DC Infinite?
I don't think I think I canceled my DC Infinite a while back. Let me see. I'll double check.
If not, I can always.
I'd love to hear you say, "Yeah, I just went out and got all these, books," because I said it's everybody needs them.
Yeah.
But also I understand that it's for those of you that are still tethered to the new books, that can rack up some impressive sales totals before you can even get to the back issues. Unfortunately,
I love new comic books, but I mean. Well, not all new comic books. Certain titles, certain writers. And like I said, going back and I mean, I know we all know how it's on Twitter. We know how certain writers now lean. Jared Ordway has never hidden, I guess, that he's not conservative. He's very far
Right,
left.
but that's not how he writes.
It doesn't come
But
across in the book,
no. This, especially back then, his the way he's writing the stuff. Roger Stern, oh my gosh, Roger Stern is like he's pretty much made Superman the most patriotic character there is.
Yeah.
In his writing. And you can see early Dan Jurgens taking a stab doing stuff. R.T. Barrett was doing some of the art, I believe, with Jurgens. It's just fun. It's saying we're always looking for aspiring characters.
Yeah.
That's what Superman in this is. The truth, the justice, American way. No, that's a Superman. Without the hokiness. I mean, there are some hokey stuff, in there, but it's not like like it was Silver Age, where it's just like nothing mattered. They're just gonna create a new story.
Right. It's by design, and it's kind of an homage to the Silver Age when they do it. And I said I'll tell you another book that was really good. I mean, I'd go back and get those, but then I checked the calendar and realized I'm going to be 60 next month, and there's only so much time, and I'm already thousands behind. But the Superboy series that started in the early, out of the Death of Superman, they brought back all kinds of things from Jack Kirby's. They brought back Project Cadmus, Double X,
Cadmus
the Newsboy Legion. And Superboy was just absolute, unapologetic horn dog. It was chasing this Hawaiian reporter chick around everywhere.
I think King Shark had his first appearance in Superboy too.
Number 9.
Yeah.
And and he was hanging out with Knockout for like first 20 something issues before Gail Simone turned her lesbian. But it was just a fun book, and there's this little blonde girl that was I think the daughter or the niece of this little, pudgy guy that was like Superboy's manager or something like that. But it was a lot of fun. The first half of that series is a blast. And it feels it's same feel as the Superman books, only not as serious.
Yeah.
Because Superboy is just he's a cad. I mean, that's, to use an old term. But then, once Jeff Johns started doing, they made the character more serious as they went forward.
Yeah,
and brought
I remember
where he's half Luthor,
half Luthor, and half Superman. Yeah, that's my first Teen Titans run ever.
Yeah, but oh my god, the Superboy with the combination Mo Howard with the shaved side of his head bit. I mean, he is. It's very, very good stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to check those out. I remember reading the Jeff Johns Superboys, and then I would see like old school with like the black leather jacket, and like you said, the weird haircut. I'd be like, I'm gonna stick with the Johns one. It looks a little bit more normal. But now that I've grown and matured as a comic reader, like I want to go back and check out a bunch of those older titles.
Now, the Superboy that I'm talking about, the first half of that series, that was more the character in Young Justice. But when when those characters graduated to the Teen Titans, it was kind of necessary that they grew up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
Tim Drake grew up. Connor Kent grew up. Cassie, you remember how pretty she was made to look there in the Teen Titans?
Oh yeah.
She was a gawky.
She was a little frumpy thing. I
mean, they made it worked. I mean, it was time, but
But I remember Bart Allen did a good deal of growing up too, between him being Impulse and then when he takes on the Kid Flash mantle.
The Impulse series was a lot of fun too. I mean, there's so many great series at DC from the 90s that I won't live long enough to have time to read again. But
the Young Justice I heard was pretty good though too, with Impulse being on there.
Peter David has no bad series. He wrote every issue of that, and That's another one that I when that collection we bought had every issue in there, and it's like it was so tempting to just take them and say, yeah, I'll bring these back in 6 months because I kind of want to read that again too.
I'm not sure. Well, I'm guessing there's 3. There's only 2 that I know. There's only John, who was the punk rocker, the Cadmus one.
Yeah, Connor and John. Those are the only 2 superheroes.
Yeah, John's the actual son. Connor was the clone. He was the Lex Luthor. He's also the punk rocker with the red pants.
Yeah,
in the jacket. That was him
yeah,
at the very beginning.
Punk rocker. Yeah, that was him at the beginning, and then as he grew, he turned into the Lex. That's where they did.
And then
the whole
DC
Lex
decided to neuter him, so he's no longer going after him.
Well, first they killed him off because he died in Infinite Crisis.
We don't talk about Infinite Crisis.
I didn't mind.
I liked Infinite Crisis.
I thought it was a good story.
Final Crisis sucked.
Final Crisis, I did not care for.
There's no thing as a Final Crisis. I hate when they use that name. They
did not care for Final Crisis. But Infinite was my one gripe with Infinite Crisis was that it completely changed the status quo of the Teen Titans run that I was enjoying. But other than as a story, it works really well. I really enjoyed it.
The lead up to Infinite Crisis.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on comic book reading order, there's like 170 books that are considered a part of Infinite Crisis before you even get to it.
Yeah.
And I said, it was a different kind of good, but DC in the first decade of the 21st century was the only character I thought they really didn't do well with was Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like when Marvel, that period that I really liked, the only character that they didn't get was Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good when you're not getting your flagship characters right, but at least
everybody else
right. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll read through like back issues, like I'll read through like a Jeff Johns Teen Titans or one of the JSAs, or it just seems so much. Yeah, like you say, it's so much more well put together and everything. Yeah, they all kind of tie into each other and lead into Infinite Crisis.
Things, the guy that owns the Bengals for years didn't understand the importance of linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So he never put an emphasis on them. And that, the offense would suffer because of that.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with that is
stay with us, non-sports ball people.
You don't really notice this, but editors and inkers are important.
Mm-hmm.
The industry's kind of done away with both of them.
Yeah.
And it shows. I mean, there's no more continuity at either company.
Yeah.
There's so much scratchy
There's pocket
art.
continuity. That's what there is.
Exactly. Pocket continuity. Like what happens in a Donny Cates Marvel book
does not cross over.
You don't hear about it in any of the other Marvel books. Yeah.
Nope.
And that's the thing. I said, 80s Marvel, Jim Shooter, a great editorial staff. Every book had an inker. Now the editors were, like I said, one's very important to the art, the other's very important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And editors were a big part of comics up until about the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if going to a show in a low cut top and leaning over in front of Jordan White to get your career started. That's great work if you can get it. But
I've never tried.
If you've never written a comic book, how do you know how to edit one?
Right.
And that seems like pretty.
See, that's the thing. You're using logic. You're one of those logic people. That's very bigoted because
if you look back 20, 30, 40 years in comics, when you look at where it says editor, that guy is also writing some of the books.
Right.
Yeah.
They were all basically, it's like a big circle where they were a circle of checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
And when writers are editing, I mean, now group editors, sometimes didn't, but they also had input from all of the individuals. So it worked, and that's something that we'll never have again in this industry because it's like comics don't sell enough. It's like the reason why you don't the few record stores that are still left, reason why they don't get any promos anymore.
Yeah.
They don't sell enough. It's not worth it. to the labels to send out promos.
Well, especially right now, look at digital's killed physicals.
Right, but I'm saying with comics, like I said, you're not going to pay editors big dollars or pay the writers, and then train them to be editors.
Yeah.
When a book's selling 15,000 copies.
Well, plus also, I mean, I think we've said this before too. Like a lot of the writers, as soon as one of their books gets optioned for a Netflix deal, they're leaving comics. They're just going to jump ship and go to screenwriting. So it's not like I don't believe a whole lot of them have this long-term interest in, growing into being an editor as well. There might be a few, but none of the ones that are writing like Captain Marvel or any of the new stuff that is in.
I gotta say though, out of the writers that are out today, who would you choose if you had to make one of them an editor? Who would you choose?
Probably. Shoot, Jeff Johns would be probably the first pick for me. Joshua Williamson maybe. I almost say Donnie Cates, but I don't know if that'd be a good idea. It wouldn't be a good idea.
Is there any past writers that you'd actually want to bring in, Breen, to be an editor?
Well, I'm sure Dan Jurgens used to edit.
Jurgens is good.
I would imagine maybe Dan Abnett's done some editing in his day. I'm not sure, but.
As far as like overall editor, make sure that continuity is put back there. That's my question.
Well, that's more of like an editor in chief.
Who would you prefer? Yeah, okay. Who would you trust?
I would love to see. Now, if it also came with all the other changes that would be necessary, I would like to see Johns at DC. And maybe Jurgens at Marvel. I mean, I think Shooter is a little old at this point.
Yeah.
Even to the point, take away the fact that I said that, his first day on the job, half the snowflakes on the payroll would melt.
Who was it that wrote Amazing Spider-Girl, that created Amazing Spider-Girl?
Tom
DeFalco.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
He's older than me.
Now, see, Morania's going.
I think Jurgens is my age too, though. So
Morania's going towards what I was thinking. Not Michelini, but I was thinking more Peter David, because Peter David understands how to write a good book, what needs to be in there, supporting cast stuff.
I'd be fine with either one of them.
Yeah.
Again, I said you're also. Those guys are in my age group too, and
you're not
Jeff
old
Johns
though.
I don't think 60 is too old.
But I will put this though: they are ordinary, and they would lay into these new writers and just chew them on a new asshole.
Probably.
Yeah,
Roger Stern. Yeah.
It's his name, Stern.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think if there's anybody associated with Marvel that is young enough to where if this would work, that it would be like a long-term solution.
Yeah,
because Jim Shooter was in his 30s when he started doing this, and he's pushing 70 now.
Maybe Chip Zdarsky?
I don't think so. I think Chip Zdarsky's a little too glib.
I can see that.
Kelly Thompson. That's good.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, same thing. I mean, Donnie Cates, but it's the same thing. I think he
what
probably.
What about Gleason?
Gleason, okay. I could probably get on board with Gleason.
Yeah. Eric 60, happy birthday.
No, well, next month I round it up. It's now less than a month away.
So when next month he's 120, running up.
Yeah, fuck you. But speaking of, I do have to jump off.
And we're gonna end it too.
I did when I went back there to put the Justice League up. I had to pull this out because I know you mentioned you read it earlier. This is, if you haven't read this is Stephen Mooney. This is what I got to know his work through. Dames, Dinosaurs, and Danger.
Are there two miniseries from that?
There are two. I have the second one. So, There's also a Christmas special that he did a little crowdfund thing for. It's not very big. It's like,
where's that one?
That's somewhere with the.
Oh, I was gonna say, you pull out two, you gotta have the third one.
I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere back
You
there.
fail as a future brain.
It's like a little Christmas anthology special. It's like a little floppy. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to, it's really fun. Like I was saying earlier, really pulpy. World War II. There's super soldiers, Nazis, ninjas, all kinds of fun stuff. So I had to grab these while I was back there.
Marania is saying Zdarsky in charge of street level heroes like otherwise, like Daredevil and Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like if you had to like corner off, like this is the street level stuff, this is the cosmic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, group editor.
Yeah. I would have maybe in that case, I'd probably have Donny Cates edit the cosmic stuff since he writes most of the cosmic stuff anyway. I don't think that'd be a huge issue. I just read that.
I know. It's just randomly pops in there. At first, I thought it was a dig at Breen at first. It was like, what? No. Anyway.
Yeah, I helped a hot 59-year-old girl the other day at my job, and she's one of those yoga buffs. Now I'm watching a 59-year-old fat fuck on a YouTube live stream.
But which one's more entertaining?
That's probably the yoga buff.
We haven't seen this girl. No, like I said, I'm just curious to see. I mean, we always talk about how we would fix things if we bought Marvel DC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would just fire everyone for both and just bring back everyone except for Jurgens.
There's everyone's a wide thing. I would keep a few people on. I would do hire and fire or promote and fire based off merit. It's like, okay, if you continue to do a good job, you can say that. Like who is it that's writing She-Hulk? Rainbow Rowley, whatever. If she continues to write She-Hulk well, by all means, stay on it. But as soon as you pull a Tom Taylor with X-Men and have a Bullwinkle girl killing somebody for not recycling a soda can, I'm sorry.
Greg Pat is what MK is saying. He wrote
Greg Pak. He means Pak.
Oh,
Okay.
Greg Pak.
Yeah, he did
Batman
World War
was
Hulk, didn't he?
terrible. World War Hulk was great.
Yeah.
The sequel with whoever was that said this was absolutely correct. Once Greg Pak became Asian writer Greg Pak, his talent exited stage left. He's terrible now.
Yeah, didn't he do because the Agents of Atlas is now like a strictly it's like an Asian Justice League. Yeah, Asians of Atlas.
Yep.
There's no Gorilla Man, no Namora anymore.
No, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
I'd say you get a give me what your pitch is and we'll do this. Write out your story like this.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you if it sucks or not, and then we hire on that. Now if he's hire and merit. Basically, it comes down to it.
Hire and fire on merit.
Yeah, sure. Punisher was good, so Jason Aaron can still find it when he has to, at least for one issue.
Oh, okay.
But Jason Aaron, when Greg Pak was doing World War Hulk,
mm-hmm.
Jason Aaron was doing a great Wolverine series.
I would keep Kelly Thompson. Keep Kelly Thompson on Black Widow.
There you go.
That would.
Everybody, it feels like everybody's got one book that they write really, really well, and then you try to take that and you put them on. That's the thing with Marvel is it seems like they take I think they did this with Bendis. They just put them on everybody.
You want a good Black Widow book? Hire Dwayne Swarzynski.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one did he write?
He's never written Black Widow, but he's
what books?
Oh, he's what has he written in comics? He wrote a lot of Birds of Prey.
Okay. There you
go. And he was on Birds of Prey during the Brightest Day period.
Okay.
He's a novelist. He's a great novelist, and he's written a bunch of miniseries. If you looked up his work, you'd recognize. You go, oh yeah, I remember that. And
okay.
He's done some work for Marvel also.
Okay. So the other big change I'd make is no social media. You are not allowed to have your own social media if you want to, but you're not allowed to talk about.
You can be on social media, but here's what I would do: you can be on social media, but you don't put the name of the book that you're writing on there. You don't get to say.
It's like any company you work for. You can be on social media, but you start bad mouthing anything like the company, and it starts making the company look bad, and it hurts the company's image. You're gone.
Well, I'd give them a 2-strike rule. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, on one, we're going to issue a statement saying that your beliefs are your own, and the company is not going to back you up
Yeah.
on your beliefs. You do it again, then there's your door. But that's just me.
Well, you know, the problem with that again, if you have a job that puts you in the public eye at all,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then you go on Twitter and go crazy, go, oh no, but no, that's my own account. Those aren't the views of the company. Yes,
it's
they
not
are,
inspired,
because you can't separate the two.
Yeah.
You're the same person.
No, like I said, you cannot. Once you start going crazy like stuff, and you remember at all times you have a contract that you were representing the company. Every time you're in social media stuff, because you're a popular figure now. You're writing these books.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not going to put your name in the books.
And and the reason why they won't do, you hide behind usernames is if Dan Slott is going on a Trump rant as Pizza the Hut 1187, no one cares.
Right.
So so they won't do that. They want
the spotlight. They want their 5 minutes.
The way I treat the way Vince McMahon does, he doesn't want the wrestlers going on social media and breaking character and stuff like that. You're hired for a certain job, and he looks that way. You're supposed to be always in the public eye. That character. Once you start breaking character, then it's just the point where it's all about you making your own money, your own plans, and it can negatively affect the company. Anything you do to cost the company money.
Yeah,
that's against. As I said, I'd have in the policy, the contract.
Yeah.
Well, before this gets into an
I know we're gonna end it.
Yeah, I was about to say we just shifted into a different.
So
topic.
I'm just gonna point down below. We do ask if you want to give us the help of the channel. It's just a steadily growing channel. I think we're at 108 now.
Yeah.
That hey, we're not monetized, and we do readings on this channel, which do cost money because we pay for the Marvel and the DC subscriptions, which are like 70 for one and like 80 for the other, right? Or something like that.
You're talking about the yearly rate, right?
Yearly rates. Yeah.
I was about to say you're paying how much a month?
No.
Dang.
Yeah, so let's go, Brandon. Yes, per month. Yes. No, I'm just saying it costs money to keep this channel running and going up. And plus, and you don't have to donate money. I'm just saying if you want to help the channel, we appreciate it more.
Yeah.
We don't have
or leave a like or share.
We don't have a Patreon for this channel. I don't know what we'd even put on there. If we did, maybe behind the scenes stuff. Maybe that doesn't get us canceled. I guess. Yeah, just so that GoFundMe link's right there. So pause it here, type it in, drop $1 if you want to, or more. And like I said, or if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I will definitely shill for money as much as I can, but like I said, we love you regardless if you pay or not.
Oh, hey,
really? If anything, you're paying it by listening to me. All right. That being said, I hope to see you guys. Our next stream on here is going to be on tomorrow for a reading. There should be also a Halo review coming out tomorrow as well. And I think Kung Fu as well. Recap. So, and then after that, we'll check you guys out later then,
Like a library book.
All right.
Good night, kids.
Good night, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Firepower.